Hi there and welcome to Beauty Talk. My name is Linda, and if you didn't know already, I love everything about skincare, makeup and beauty. And today I wanted to share with you this makeup. It's my proposal for Valentine's Day. So if you're interested in seeing how I achieved this look, please keep on watching. But before, I want to ask you to please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That really means a lot to me because that's what's going to help my channel keep on growing and so that much more people can see my videos. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I also share a little bit of some tips there, but also a little bit of my personal life if you're interested. And I think that's about it. So let's get into the video. Alright, let's start. I am gonna try and use a little bit of the rest of this primer from YSL. I recently did a shorts about it, and it's just one of my favorite primers. It's really great for blurring and for disguising any pores, and also just to keep makeup in place. And I'm just going to apply that especially in the center of my face where I want things to be more disguised, and also to kind of help control the shine. You can see how immediately it blurs. One tip: when using this primer, you only need the tiniest bit. I put a little bit too much, so I just try to spread it all over my face. I'm also going to use a primer on my lids. I'm going to use this one from Revlon, from their Colorstay range. I'm kind of cold, so I have this sweater, but I just don't want it to look terrible in my video. Always with the same sweater. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Before I go on with foundation, I'm going to use this palette from Makeup Forever. You might have seen this already. It's kind of popular now on social media. It's a really good palette, especially if you're a makeup artist or you just want everything in one palette. And I'm going to use these correcting colors. So I'm going to start using this kind of yellowy green one. And I'm going to use that around my nose because I tend to have a lot of redness there. So I'm just going to try and cover that also, even on my nose as well. A little bit on my chin. And I'm also going to take the pinky color that's to correct like purpleness and blue and grayness. So I'm going to use that a little bit under my eyes to correct any discoloration, or to neutralize any discoloration, or dark circles, to correct any dark circles. I don't have too much, but I do have a little bit of discoloration, so I find that doing this, it's been really helpful in neutralizing any darkness under my eyes. That's pretty nice. Foundation I'm using today is this one from Chanel. It's from their #1 range, and it's a beautiful foundation. And the reason why I want to use this is because I want to have a natural skin today, and I'm just gonna apply it all over my face, and I'm gonna blend with this beauty sponge. By the way, if you live here in the UK, I've said this before, in Boots you can get this sponge, which is just like, it costs £1, maybe a little bit more now with the increase in things, but it's super affordable and it is just super soft. Has nothing to envy the original Beauty Blender. And because I want a natural skin, that's why I'm using a sponge. Usually helps to give more of that natural effect. So now I'm going to take my Touche Éclat High Cover Concealer. I'll leave the information of all the products under in the description box and all the details. So I'm just going to use this like a little bit here in the inner corners, just here under the eyes. Don't really need too much, but somehow I'm using a little bit too much. Just going to use a little bit in the center of the face. I have still some redness and some spots coming through, but the foundation really helped to kind of just disguise it, but not really to cover too much the skin, which is fine because that's what I wanted. I still have a little bit of redness under, like around my nose. I'm just going to take the same concealer because it's not such a light shade. I think I can get away with doing this. Then I'm going to take the other side of the sponge and I'm going to blend it in under the eyes and around the nose. And then I blend the rest kind of like under the eyebrow. Now I'm going to use the by Terry CC Serum in Sunny Flash. Just going to use a little bit of it to use it as my liquid bronzer. I'm going to take a brush, take a little bit of it, and I'm going to apply it same placement as if I were applying a cream bronzer or powder bronzer. This one you can also use it under the makeup as a primer, especially if you have a darker skin tone. It will just work as a primer and kind of give you a little bit of light. And if you have fair skin, it can work as a bronzer. It's really beautiful. Just take it over my hairline as well, and then any remains to under my neck. And now we can see how the face is just taking a little bit more shape, and it's just looking a little bit more bright and healthier. So, because today I'm going to be using a red lip, I know, a bit cliche for Valentine's Day, but you know what? It's been a while since I used a red lip, so I'm going to be using a red lip, and I think it's a classic. You can't go wrong with a red lip, even on Valentine's Day. So I'm going to use this lipstick from Chanel, and it's so beautiful. The packaging, it's just really nice. And the color is La Favorite 43. It's in their range Rouge Allure Velvet. And I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to put it in the back of my hand. It's very pigmented. It's a beautiful color. And then I'm going to take, I'm using a lot of Chanel today, and I'm going to take a little bit of this product from Chanel, which is their Sheer Healthy Glow Highlighting Fluid. And I'm going to mix a little bit of that in with the blush. And I just mix it so that the blush has a little bit of radiance to it. So I've blended it now in the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take it with a brush. Like that, and I'm going to place it just in the highest parts of my face. Ooh, that's nice. It's very pretty. A little bit on the nose, just a little bit. And do a little bit here, and that's pretty nice. So if I feel like I've done too much, I'm just going to take my sponge and I'm just going to go over everything just to make sure that, you know, it's not too much. But otherwise, I think it looks very pretty. There's still some radiance there, but I'm going to add a little more radiance. I'm going to take the same product from Chanel. I'm going to put a little bit in the back of my hand. Hopefully you can see that dot there, because you really don't need much. And I'm going to take the sponge. I like doing it better with this sponge. And I'm just going to apply it just in the high points. Good thing about this highlight is that it's very, very subtle. There's not really any glitter. So it's very subtle. You can see that really pretty radiance. A little bit on the bridge and on the upper part of my lip. I'm just taking whatever's left on the brush from the blush, and I'm just going to kind of put it like the eyebrow bone, and just there, just to kind of like make the whole look be a little more cohesive. Now I'm gonna set everything with my loose powder, again from Chanel. Very gently. And take a very small brush. I'm going to see that nothing has creased under my eyes, just tapping with my finger, and then I'm going to set it with a little bit of powder, also on my eyelids to prepare it for the eyeshadow. And you've probably seen me always say this. I love to see how this side, after you've set it with powder, to see the difference between the side that you haven't. It always just looks pretty cool to me. Also, this was gonna help to kind of like disguise the pores and blur them when you use a little bit of powder. Let's move on to brows. I'm gonna brush them up Try and do a quick brow here. I'm gonna use this Beauty Pie, it's called Superbrow Precision Pencil. I think it's called in the color Perfect Brown. So I'm just gonna fill in a little bit wherever I'm missing some hairs, and to kind of perfect this shape. Well, not perfect because they're never gonna be perfect, but just to give them a better shape in general. Right. Extend the tail just a little bit. I say my eyebrows are not perfect. They're very, very uneven, but I try to make them look as decent as possible as I can. I'm not the best on doing eyebrows, but this is what I can do. So I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Fix. It's a gel so that I can set my eyebrows. Just brush them up and set them. Yeah. So now let's move on to eyes, and I'm going to use this same lipstick as the base of the color. I'm going to put it again back of my hand. This time I'm not going to mix it with anything. I'm just going to use a brush, and I'm going to take it straight like this. Saturate the brush, and then I'm going to apply it just kind of like in the socket line. Just like that. This is also helping you see that one product, you can use it for many things. It's just about using your imagination. Obviously, maybe not, you know, a very hydrating lipstick might be a little more difficult to use like this. Doesn't mean you can't use it, but probably, you know, the effect will be a little bit different. So that's what I do. I don't know if I want to take it under my eye, but let's try. Just a little bit in the outer corner. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Okay, this is a bit strong for me. And you know, maybe depending on the color of your eyes and your skin, maybe this, you feel like this is nice. I think this is nice too, but I think it's a little too much red. So I'm going to take another eyeshadow. I'm going to use this palette. This is an old palette from Zoeva. You don't have to use the exact same palette. You just need to find a similar color that I'm going to be using, which is this satin brown here, which is a color that I'm sure you can find in many other palettes. And I'm just going to take a little bit of the excess. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to put it below where I placed the red, just below. Took a lot of that actually. And I'm just gonna build that in the outer corner again, and then I bring whatever to kind of like right in that socket line between the red color and the socket line, basically. Grab another brush, and I'm just going to blend it a little better into that red, but still ensuring that you can see that red on the edges, and just blend in the brown. And then I'm also going to blend the brown with the red in the bottom lashes, like that. You can go back with the brush where I used the red lipstick as an eyeshadow, and I'm just going to blend again with the brown and the red. It's like a golden brown. It's very pretty. That's looking pretty nice. So now I'm gonna take this eyeshadow from Hourglass. This is their Scattered lights, and it's just such a beautiful color. They were really popular when they came out. I don't hear people talking about them anymore, which is quite strange, but I think it's a beautiful, beautiful pigment, kind of sparkle without being too shimmery. So I'm gonna put that in the center of the eyelid, maybe a little bit into inner corner, a little bit, might be too much. Put a lot now. I'm just going to blend a little bit the inner corner because I put a little too much, and try not to get the sparkle all over me. Hope you can see how it's looking. It looks really nice. It kind of almost looks like it's wet. So yeah, it's quite nice. So I did this similar look. I did it on one of my shorter videos on Instagram, and it looked really nice, but I didn't share the whole process of how I did everything else. Maybe I didn't do the exact same steps, but this was kind of like the basis of the makeup. However, now I'm going to make it a little more different. I'm going to use a little bit of an eyeliner. I'm going to use this eyeliner from Vieve Power Ink Liner. I like when I can get open. What I like about this eyeliner is how thin it is, and I find it very easy to work with. Now, let me see if I can get this done while I film. So, the way I try to do this is I look straight into the mirror, and then I see where is the end of my eye, and then obviously there's a fold there, so I'm going to go on top of that fold and like that, and then I just work back in, close it onto the lid, and then from the middle outwards, because I don't like my eyeliner to be all the way until the inner corner. I usually just like it from the middle outwards. And that was actually pretty easy. Not too bad. So from here I will just stretch my eye and maybe try to correct a little bit. Been doing this for years and I still think I'm not an expert. That's the other side. So they're not perfect, but I think I can get away with it. I'm gonna use a little bit of a black liner. I'm gonna use this one from Charlotte Tilbury, just on the upper waterline to thicken the eyelash line. I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. This is a Merceir eyelash curler. Give them a nice curl. I always love the difference. You can see the difference of the eyelashes when they're curled up from when they're not. Now, before I put my mascara on, I like to do the setting mist. I like to set my makeup, and I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I like to do this in case the setting spray interferes with the eyelash mascara and makes it kind of melt and spread all over the place. I'm going to use my mascara from Dior. It's the Dior Show Waterproof, which is my favorite version. The normal one just doesn't work. It's not meant to be extremely perfect makeup. It's meant to be like something, you know, even if it's a little bit smudged or something, kind of looks, you know, there's a little bit of sensuality to that when the makeup is not extremely perfect. And now let's move on to the lips. I'm going to use this red lip liner from Lancome, and it's the color Caprice. Especially when using a red, always better to use a lip liner. It's going to help the lipstick stay in place and also prevent it from bleeding into the rest of your face. It takes a long time to do this lip liner. Also because I'm trying to correct the shape of my lip and also enhance it just a little bit, overdraw just a little bit, especially on the Cupid's bow. Now I'm gonna go in with the lipstick from Chanel, and it's the same one I used as my blush and as the base of my eyeshadow. And this color is just so beautiful. It's actually, if you look at it, it's not as red as the lip liner. It's almost like a pinkish red. Alright, the look is basically done, but I just couldn't resist. I wanted to, although I've set my makeup already, I kind of really want to use a little bit of this powder. This is a finishing powder from Guerlain, which obviously I've used a lot. But what I love about it is that it's kind of like gonna make everything kind of like merge together. And it also provides a little bit of this kind of light. Just apply it all over. And that's it. Just fixed my hair. I brushed it with my head upside down. That's why it's all very voluptuous, which I am not mad about. So this is the final look. I hope you've enjoyed it. I quite like it. I think it's a very nice proposal for Valentine's Day. If you're going on a date with your significant other, husband, boyfriend, or just your friends and family, I think it's a beautiful look, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for staying all the way until the end, and I hope you have a great day. Ciao! Actually, that was not what I was gonna do. Oh. No, that was not what I'm gonna do. Scratch that, people. Scratch that. I'm not doing that.